Hey guys, welcome to Nick and Lars Have Notes, episode 13.
That's right.
Oh man, tonight we're seeing Kubo and the Two Strings, and we got a special guest star, Tim.
Yes, hi everybody.
Oh man, you guys, Tim is somebody that I know from work, and actually we're going to be plugging some stuff later on, but yeah.
We never really talk about ourselves as artists, but
Yes.
this is the one.
We're vague entities with first names only.
Yeah.
But
we all draw stuff.
Yeah.
That's for true.
And people pay us money to draw stuff.
Oh man.
It's funny every single day. You suckers.
Yeah. Oh man.
I've done this for free.
Oh, so hey you guys, disclaimer. This, is an animated movie, and people work extra hard on animated movies and extra hard on stop motion animated movies.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Oh man. So, I'm gonna feel real bad giving notes to this one.
But although we may not have to, this is supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, well, great.
I've been sort of shielding myself from reviews and buzz and just trying to come in clean. And
That's the way to do it. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, hey, disclaimer behind us. Let's talk about our expectations for this movie.
Okay, so I'm expecting it to be pretty solid. I heard there were some story problems in the beginning, but maybe they've been addressed.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with you expectation-wise. I love stuff, Coraline, Paranorman, Box Trolls, and now Kubo and the Two Strings. I feel like every one of their movies gets a little bit better, and that improvement is somewhat in terms of...
You like Box Trolls better than you like Paranorman?
I feel like there were a lot of things that were happening structurally, story-wise, that were more solid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's shared by everyone.
That's okay.
Okay.
I mean, I think every one of these movies, the weakness is in story structure.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Back to a Paranorman was pretty draggy.
Yeah. And
Coraline was kind of got video gamey.
And then Box Trolls had twice as much exposition as it needed,
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're just getting a little bit tighter as they go, and I'm hoping that this next iteration, Kubo, will be for a further step in the right direction.
Well, I'm really excited about this movie for a couple reasons. First off, I love adventure stories.
Hell yeah.
And this is an adventure story.
And it's hard to mess up, too.
A kid with powers, he's got to build a posse of other cool people around him, and they got to go do something cool, and they got to get there with the journey and fight a bad guy. I love that.
Yeah, I'm into that.
I also love stop motion. When I was in junior high, I had this huge stop motion phase where I got lots of action figures with posability, and I had my little Hi8 camera, and I would just record, unrecord, and try and figure out the right... I didn't have any fancy shit. I had a tripod with duct tape, and I would just film these really violent action scenes mostly.
Nice.
I got really ambitious and tried to make a full movie with Keanu Reeves' Neo action figure as the lead, and Grifter from Wildcats was his sidekick, and Rogue from X-Men's action figure, the one from the movie.
Were they all the characters from their respective franchises?
Oh no, it was this whole different thing.
Got it.
I built props. I I made this gambling scene where I made this cool table and chairs, and there's a bunch of Alien and Predator and shit are going around, smoking cigars and playing poker. I made little cards and little money, and then there's an explosion. I burnt the table, which was made out of styrofoam, and it looked really cool.
Nice.
And, so yeah, I love stop motion, and I mean, Leica movies look gorgeous.
Would you guys agree, story aside, that the animation in each Leica movie gets more impressive?
Dude, this is visually incredible. I thought it was 3D for a second there. But
You did. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
And I was nah, dude, it's all stop motion.
it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they do the whole sort of in-betweening with digital stuff and removing things, but I love
face
it.
replacement is still stop motion.
Yeah.
But it's computer assisted. They know
Right.
exactly where it needs to be, but it's still with hands.
Yeah.
And
they do 3D print a lot of those face replacements.
But that is not cheating. That is doing stop motion smart.
That is,
It's just more tools,
Very modern sculpting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it looks gorgeous. It looks real. You know, that's the great thing about stop motion. I'm actually kind of sad we're not seeing it in 3D. I was thinking about it since it's stop motion.
Well, that ship has kind of sailed, guys.
We bought our tickets already.
We could have made, we could have gone for that and done it yesterday. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well,
whatever.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good. Anywho, well, it sounds like we're all looking forward to the movie. I got a couple of friends who saw advanced screenings and said it was good too. So, yeah. I don't want to get my hopes too high and then be disappointed or whatever.
But I want to make a promise though, because we haven't been doing very good notes on the movies that we see. So I want to come up with one critical thing that we need to fix about this, and that's my promise.
And you know what?
I'm going to figure something out to criticize.
Honestly, I feel like this is the first time we've been able to do expectations in a while based on the studio that it's coming from, because up until now it's been Ghostbusters, 9 Lives, and then Sausage Party. So
I still haven't listened to your 9 Lives one.
Oh.
You guys did it?
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it's one of our better ones. We got super
man.
drunk. It's all over the place. There's
I'll send it to you on Monday, man.
I'm so excited. Because I was so pumped listening to you guys just... What is happening?
There's a party happening.
There's something over there. You guys, by the way, this is all just right outside the theater. This is real stuff.
This
is
is
real
why you listen.
deal.
You listen for the reality.
Yep.
It's
We're
raw,
really,
unfiltered.
really reviewing this movie right outside of it.
Man.
Yep. Anyway, but yeah, no. So let's really we got our expectations that are really solid because we know what studio is making this movie.
Yeah.
And next we're gonna give really good notes on. Because this studio, the weakness is always little the story things.
I'm gonna figure something out.
We'll be
I'm gonna tear this apart.
We're gonna jump right on those story issues after the movie.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna go in and watch it now. So we'll see you guys after the movie.
Okay, goodbye.
Whee!
All right.
And we're back.
We just saw Kubo.
Oh
did.
man. So spoiler free first, and we'll have a spoiler cut off later on. But yeah.
Started off simple. What did you think?
This is my favorite movie of the year.
Whoa!
Didn't even have to think about it that hard.
Holy crap!
This has been a bad year for movies for me.
True.
I've seen a lot of movies that I've been really excited for that I've been kind of let down by, and there's been a lot of stuff where it's like, man, I don't even want to try and see that. You know what? Honestly, if I didn't go see this with you guys, I don't even know if I would have seen it because I tend to stay away from theatrical release animated movies lately. It's just, I know.
Why would you do that?
Why would I do that? It's an interesting question.
Oh, I know. Maybe you want to kill the theatrical animated industry.
No, I've just been disenchanted by Pixar, and Pixar is sort of the gold standard for me. And as their movies got longer and more baroque and less.
But
Toy
you
Story
saw
3,
Zootopia, right?
I did see Zootopia.
Okay.
All of the Pixar magic has transferred over to Disney.
It has.
Yeah.
Love Wreck-It Ralph.
Totes.
I love Zootopia. Zootopia came out this year. I like Kubo better.
Whoa!
Wow.
I don't know if I agree with you, but
Okay, so that's just me, but I want this movie to make $1 billion, and I want Laika to last 1,000 years. And make 1 billion more movies with their $1 billion. And each one of those movies costs $1. No, I don't want that to happen. But that's what I thought of
Next one,
Kubo
made with
spoiler
paperclips.
free.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. Lars?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that it was better than Zootopia.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, I think I still like Zootopia better. Like, I saw Zootopia a few times in the theater. I don't know if I'll be seeing this one over and over again in the theater. But that being said, this was exceptional. It's definitely Laika's best picture. I've said, before on this podcast that, Laika, they just get better and better with each movie. Frankly, I didn't think they would get this good this quickly. This was a jump in quality. They've really solved the glaring story issues that have marred their otherwise very charming productions in the past. Good freaking job, Leica. Getting better, as I said you would. It feels so good to be right. Nick?
The artistry in this movie was incredible. The nuance of, like, even the expressions was something I didn't know you could do with stop motion. And little pieces of hair. Okay, but back to the general idea. Yes, I liked it. Definitely not as good as Zootopia. But and I do have a critique for it for later. But
Okay.
overall, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
All right. I mean, yeah, and what you said, like, in terms of animation, like, there were some really, like, extreme close-ups in this movie, you know, where you're seeing a portion of somebody's face, and it's like just looks just nice, real nice to look
they
at.
animated strands of hair flowing in the winds. I didn't know you could do that.
And I mean, just all of the design in this movie is fantastic. Not just the characters, but the backgrounds.
Oh, absolutely.
Every little detail.
Oh, and can I just say that I feel so good coming out of this movie? Like, we were coming out of the theater, and I was just like, man, all that stuff that was, like, bothering me, I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
I just feel good now.
The magic of movies.
Yes.
Honestly, that's what's really gotten me this year, just like so down, is that every time I go to the movies, think I'm going to get swept away by this. And then I go, and then I just feel like crap leaving. Like, you know, I understand people spend a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort, and we work, you know, in storytelling type stuff, and we can sort of see the, you know, how the sausage is made, and we know that people care about what they're making, and, you know, there are impediments sometimes, but this was a movie that it transported me. I wasn't thinking about other stuff when I was watching it. I was just thinking about how awesome everything on screen was.
Totally.
And it made me feel things. It, you know, we're going to get into spoilery territory if I start talking about the feels that I had at certain points,
man.
but I think this is a really special movie.
Yeah.
Nice.
I kind of want to just jump right into the story stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I
feel like
mean,
we have to.
okay, yeah. Well, yeah, you guys, let me, you know, just cap off spoiler free by saying I think we can all agree that this is a beautiful and excellent movie, and
Well, we're seeing it in theaters,
you know,
too.
yeah. I mean, like this year, I loved like Zootopia, and I also loved Deadpool, although we didn't review that one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that was my other favorite this
Yeah,
year,
that was-
and. Yeah, maybe after those, like, see this one. Like, see this, you know, or according to Tim, see this one first before any of them.
Well, I mean, I have very specific tastes, and this totally hit all of them.
Yeah,
Like,
and dude, I'm not begrudging you that at all. You know, honestly, it's close for me. You know, I really like this one. You guys, go see Kubo. Holy cow. You know, pause this. Go check it out. Come back.
Stop whatever you're doing.
If you're driving, pull over.
Yup.
Run to the theater.
Yup. Just park on the sidewalk and just go buy a ticket. All right. So, spoilers. We're going to talk about the movie in specific ways now.
In 3,
2.
1, now.
All right, who wants to go first?
Oh, man. So that skeleton, by the way, 16 feet tall.
What? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Stop motion animated 16-foot tall skeleton.
I mean, that thing was giving me Rancor flashbacks. Just like, oh my god, this thing is so cool. I actually wanted to. One of the things that was so cool to me, and I know Leica likes imperfect character designs, interesting character designs with little flaws, and that's always great, but I felt like it really got tied into the themes in this movie about how Kubo is sort of a demigod, right? Like his mom is like a celestial goddess, and she fell in love with a mortal and had a kid, and her dad up in the sky is super pissed off and wants him to join them, but he can't join them unless he's blind, because if he can see, then he can see people for who they are and have empathy, and he doesn't want them to have empathy. And there's this whole dialogue about perfection and the evils of perfection. And all of our heroes are flawed, but they have very prominent physical flaws that you can see. Kubo has one eye.
Yep.
His mother has this big scar down her face. And spoiler,
His dad.
his mom turns into a monkey. The monkey is the mom, and that was something that I was kind of thinking, but then I was like, I was still surprised by it when it happened a little bit.
Yeah, they were more direct about it than I thought they would be.
And the monkey's got a little scar on the different side of the face, so that you don't know it right away.
Misdirection.
And then the beetle, who's the dad,
Hanzo.
also spoiler.
We're in that section.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You've already seen it by now.
He's all.
I should hope so.
This is your fault if you're
I'm be
getting
real
spoiled.
displeased with you, listener.
Yeah, you should know that. Please continue.
He's all chipped up everywhere, but he's also got this really awesome gap in his teeth, like off to the side. It's so real. Every time he smiles, it was just super cool,
Yeah.
and I love his beetle mustache.
Totally.
I think Beetle is my favorite character.
He was hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh man, just all of his dumbness. Oh, I love dumb characters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dumb, strong characters that are endearing, and I love how since Monkey is so hard and serious, and his goofiness like gets to her. That made me really happy. I love that.
It's a relatable dynamic.
Yeah. So, like, story stuff, you guys want to...
Oh man,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't. Like I said earlier, and like we said, even during our expectations, generally, there's parts of like a movie story-wise that normally get muddled, and I feel like that just didn't happen here. That this was just the most solid like a movie story-wise, as well as being totally
I would agree
beautiful.
with that 100%.
But Nick, you did say you had an idea about that.
Okay, so the running, this is my thesis.
Okay.
As I was watching the movie, I kept thinking, this is a lot like Dark Souls, the video game. Because everything is kind of dreamlike. Like, everyone doesn't really quite know what's going on. They've kind of lost their memories. And I think my problem, and it's cool because Dark Souls also has a lot of cool boss fights. So it was awesome that, like, we got to see them fighting a giant skeleton. And oh my god, the sisters were super cool.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that fight was amazing on the boat.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
I liked that the fights weren't just dances. It was like, no, we are all trying to kill each other.
yeah, yeah.
But go on,
Visually
Nick.
stunning. We'll get more into that later. But another problem is that it's also very disconnected, and it didn't really seem like it was a complete world. They went from like a place to a place, and there wasn't a connection between them, and so it didn't really feel like a fleshed out place. It was very dreamlike. Like, suddenly he's back over here, and he now they're in a whale, and it's not really explained why. And I think it would have been a better movie if they said why they were at a location and what was going on.
think-
And so much of it was vague.
I would say that this movie is very much, the adventure story is very much a fable. It's like a myth, and I feel like in that context it's okay to do it like that.
I would
don't
like
know.
to counterpoint.
Okay, by all means.
Yeah. I actually really liked that about the movie. It's very surrealistic, and I mean, Kubo has these abilities from the very beginning. He can play his guitar and make origami dance around and perform for people. They never like set some time aside to explain to the audience he has this power where he can do this thing. They just show you, and then everyone in town skateboarder.
It was a sweet trick.
That was awesome.
Man,
yeah.
I was amazed. 10 points. I'm not even looking that direction.
All right. They didn't take the time in the cave. They could have, where the mom would be like, "You have this special ability, and don't use it for stuff." And I'm explaining to the audience that they do it, and the people in town are reacting to it like it's normal. He's not weird. He's not like, "Ooh, a witch."
They love it. They love his storytelling.
Yeah, they're into it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's neat." You know, they're not. They're not thinking that the audience is too dumb to know what's going on.
Yes.
It's great.
Well, okay.
And
yes.
that they definitely, like, in Box Trolls, they explain his backstory like twice in the beginning and then again at the beginning of Act 3, and it's like, really?
Or
You know?
more recently, Suicide Squad spoilers.
Well, I mean, we're talking about Laika, but yes, Suicide Squad definitely
Just
has
modern
like,
storytelling.
you know,
they explain everybody's backstory, motivation, and putting the team together like 7 times.
except for the underserved afterthought thing. So this is, I mean, if you guys really want to, we can talk about Suicide Squad.
Nah, we
like,
don't need to
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to say, I agree with you. I think it's cool that they never really explained why he had these powers, but we do get why. I mean, he's part god,
Right.
and so like that, we can kind of piece that together if you follow the story. That's not what my problem was.
Right,
it was
right.
the world itself.
It's the world. It's the jumping from environment like we're in the snow, and then we're in more of like a rocky
Right.
place, and then we're on the
it
ocean.
does add a dreamlike quality to the movie that you don't have a strong sense of place beyond what the immediate environment is. But I'm okay with the movie feeling dreamlike because again, I feel like this is a very mythic tale, you know, like I'm almost imagining like, you know, a 3,000-year-old stop motion Japanese man, you know, telling me this story you know, of Kubo, and he's like, yep, and then there was snow, and then there was a big old lake, you know, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm on board with this, you know, like to me, that's kind of why it's like that.
You know what?
It's a stylistic thing in my mind, but
I should also mention I'm a huge comic book guy, and so I mean everyone's aware of comic books now because it's a big pop culture phenomenon. But as far as superheroes and movies and stuff, but in actually reading comic books, jumping from panel to panel, it's you know, you're allowed to jump from place to place, and you're allowed to do anything in comic books. You can have space gods, and you can have you know, super scientists, and you can have you know, a girl with cancer in the same panel, and it's all fine.
so
I mean,
it could be even bigger leaps, and it wouldn't be jarring to you.
As long as it has internal consistency to it and it follows its own rules, which this movie did to its credit.
Yeah.
But what were we going to say? Sorry.
oh yeah, well, just the
Just that you can't get away with it.
that type of storytelling of like you said, it's much more like verbal storytelling when you know, and now we're here, and now we're here, and now we're here, instead of what I might call Netflix storytelling. I'm going to tell you every step it took for me to get to my car and to buy my coffee and then to get to the next place. And then the episode will be over and find out what happens next week.
What Netflixes have you been watching?
Jessica Jones.
I liked that.
I was going to say Daredevil. They do a lot of that. I love Jessica Jones though. It's really good. But speaking to that, even like the colors were part of this story. There was a lot hidden. Like at the like where every time her mom or one of the sisters uses magic, it's blue like the moon. At the end when he uses his magic, it's orange like the sun.
Yeah.
And there's like a little bit of like, oh, it's like kind of different. Like he's found his own path kind of thing, which is it's not even spelled out for you. So like, even though that's my critique, I guess I also like that about the movie.
You're so right. I mean, they could have so easily spelled it out. I'm the light side, and I'm the sun, and the sun.
Dayman.
Oh, lights are of the night, man. The sun could have come up behind him as he does the thing, and then it
Right.
banishes the night, and then you know it's the dawn while he's and talking about. So you need to join the light side, father.
That'd be pretty
Grandfather.
great though.
That would have been pretty great, but I like that they didn't because they said, you know what, people know.
Yeah, but then on like the other side, like the grandfather turns into a monster and he has to fight the monster. And, why did he turn into a monster?
He's a space god, and he's like got to kick ass on this guy with magic armor and sword.
All right, Yeah, fair enough. And it was cool that like he collects all of the armor and puts all the stuff together, and he's fighting with a sword, and he's never fought with a sword before, and he realizes like that's not who I am. Like I gotta take the string with all the memories of all the people that are important to me.
Yeah,
and I have to feed him with my music.
He won with love.
That's super awesome.
I loved it so much. It reminded me of the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he
That's
found
a really
the third option.
apt
He did.
comparison.
Yeah, I loved that because you know him killing the Fire Lord, Fire Lord
Ozai?
yes, that would not have been Aang, not
No,
Ung,
No,
absolutely
no.
not.
Aang. And he found the peaceful way to do it. And the same thing happened in this movie when he said, "I'm gonna kill you." I was like, you know, because that happens when he's facing down his grandfather
armor,
turned
he
to a
has
monster.
a sword and a weapon. Yeah.
I'm gonna. How does my story end? I'm gonna kill you. And
No, Kubo.
there was a part of me that was thinking,
Don't do that.
I hope you don't.
Yeah.
I hope you find another way to solve
man.
this.
I was so in it that I didn't even think anything. That's how engaged I was in this movie.
It would have been effed up if he killed him.
Yeah.
Just, I won. Story over. Shing.
Yeah.
I mean, now that you say it, yeah, it's kind of obvious.
Strength conquers all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go read Nietzsche.
Yeah, take that, space god. Yeah.
You guys want to talk about the feels?
Let's
Do
talk
you
about
guys-
some
mean-
feels, man.
Oh,
Yeah, do you guys
man.
get some feels in here?
So many feels throughout this movie.
Because
Oh,
I felt
man.
like really sad and kind of uncomfortable when he's taking care of his mom and his mom.
That was crazy
Really
at the
tragic.
beginning. Yeah.
And the great way they reveal each new piece of information.
Yeah.
Like she comes alive at night, but he needs to take care of her
Right.
during the day, but he can't be out at night. Otherwise someone's gonna find him, but we don't know who quite yet.
Man, I spent the first 10 minutes of that movie just thinking, like, how did she raise him to the age of 11 if she's catatonic a lot of the time?
I was thinking that too.
But apparently it's like, okay, no, it's her injury and it's gotten worse over
But
the years.
she's also losing herself.
Yeah.
And the
It's
whole
like,
thing with
okay.
memories as well. She's slipping.
and
It was super tragic and melancholy.
yeah, and like you
There-
said, they could have spelled all that out.
You know, there are going to be some literal-minded people who are going to get hung up on that. They're going to be like, I don't understand why she's like, you know, what? How did she raise him when she was catatonic? That doesn't make sense. You know,
They should cut
you
together
know,
a new trailer that's like, this is me, I'm Kubo. I have to take care of my mom.
oh man, those types of viewers are the reason that we get so many of those types of movie beginnings.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're terrible and you should feel bad.
All right, you know what? I'm taking back my critique. This is a really good movie. I don't have any problem with it. All the vagueness
You
was
were already
intentional.
saying it was good.
No, it was.
I mean, well,
You had a minor note, and
And
yeah.
it was more about, like, I didn't know what the stakes were necessarily if it was kept so vague. But then by the end of the movie, it's all, if you're smart enough, you can piece it together. So
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with
give
it. It's all
audiences
great.
enough credit to figure out what the story is so
Yeah.
that we can pay attention and not be bored waiting for the next thing to happen.
yeah, when your audience is ahead of your main character, it's a bad thing.
Oh,
and
yes.
this movie did not do that.
I did call that trap where he sees his grandfather and he's like, this guy seems cool.
Yeah.
well,
oh,
they'll
yeah.
get that helmet
That
from the
was
place that he
one.
told me
That
to
was
go.
the one time we were ahead of Kubo. Is that dream? It's like,
course
don't
it's a
do
trap.
not trust that dream, Grandpa Kubo.
Well, they let us know. They let us know that he's blind, and then this guy's blind. Definitely his
Yeah.
grandpa.
No, it was real obvious.
Yeah.
If they had done that, if they had the dream sequence before they had told him that his grandpa was blind, then maybe the audience would have been tricked into thinking, this is another guy who's going to help him on his quest. So, as far as notes go, it's a minor one.
Yeah.
That one could have helped the adult audience, but I could see why it might be there for kids. But they didn't really do any of that.
Yeah.
They didn't do any pandering in this movie.
Yeah, I didn't
Except
feel they could have had that dream sequence happen earlier or have that reveal come later. Or but then when do you impart that information about the
But it would have to be at that point.
You know what you could do? You could have the dream happen when it happens, and then have them talking about Monkey's family at the fortress.
Okay.
So then while they're at the fortress and she's describing her family, then you're like, wait a minute, blind space god, wait, Kubo's dream, oh no. So
This
you're
could be a
like
trap.
putting it together by remembering. Sure.
And then the very next scene is the betrayal. So you're not that far behind.
Yeah, you know, and then
They could have gotten there during the day, and the helmet's not there. And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's not here. It must have been taken, and we don't know where." And then they have their campfire scene.
Right, yeah.
It was telegraphed even further where he's like, I know where to go next, and he takes like his grandfather or his father figurine and like stuffs him in the satchel. And he's like, this way, let's go.
Yeah.
So he's not there to point the way.
Right,
is the idea.
Right.
Or maybe he's pointing a different way, but he decides to go with the dream guy instead. He says, "No, you don't know what you're talking about."
That crossed my
That'd be
mind
cool.
too. Why isn't Origami Hanzo like pointing the correct direction?
Because Kubo put him in a satchel and like closed it.
Right. Okay.
Because he
Yeah.
was so confident that was the way to go.
Oh, too overconfident.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
Kubo.
Well, although, yeah. So I mean, I don't know, you know, and would again, not a huge note. Wouldn't change the movie that much.
No,
you know.
And if you're a kid,
Yeah.
you're not going to really pick up on that anyway.
Yeah, it didn't bother me
Yeah.
really watching the movie. It didn't take me out of it.
By the way, how awesome was it that the grandpa looked exactly like Grand Moff Tarkin?
Yeah.
It's like super duper. It's pretty great.
Aw, space god.
Dude walking by.
The dude walking by, I think he's got some kind of bells.
And this will be edited out.
Well, I don't know. You know, I think
He's keeping his beat.
Okay.
It's like a soundtrack.
he's kind of...
Yeah, this is production quality.
Man, you know, I thought he was going to keep walking, but he's kind of going in a circle, isn't he?
You know what? Most podcasts, they would just, buy something or use free music. We have live performers.
That's right.
That's right. This is, you know, we're just no expense spared for you, our dear audience.
You are welcome. Any other parts we want to discuss?
I don't know, man, but you guys, like, I do, after this podcast, Nick, I do have to talk to you about our Old Man with Bells budget for the podcast.
I don't care. We're keeping it in. We need this.
Okay,
We need
I'm
the
just
calling. It's
saying,
what the
I'm
audience
just saying, like,
expects.
we're really stretching the budget, but we'll
Doesn't
talk
matter.
about it later. Okay.
Losing money every episode on bells.
I really liked the little sweet romance between Monkey and Beetle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
It made me happy.
Oh, I wanted them to kiss.
I liked how uncomfortable Kubo was. He's like,
This is weird.
Yeah.
I love the kid adult relationship. You guys are gonna fight, aren't you? We're having a grown up conversation.
It
You're
was-
gonna
it-
fight.
It was funny because Kubo has never had that, and yet they made that mom, dad, kid dynamic just like was emergent in a few scenes.
Right.
Where it was sort of telegraphing that, but in
It's
a subtle
before you
way.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. That's great. It's kind of like giving you the thought, but you're like, no, but not really. But then, oh yeah, no, literally. It's like, oh, okay.
So
Right.
So guys, after you find out Monkey is his mom, did you immediately know that Beetle was the dad? or-
I had some suspicion.
So the very first thing I thought was Beetle was the dad.
Right.
Because they talk about how he's a good bowmaster, and the first thing the Beetle guy does is go for the bow. And I thought, and then later in the next scene, I was like, no, he's probably not the dad.
Right.
And then for the rest of the movie, I didn't think he was the dad. either.
after we find out that Monkey's the mom,
Uh-huh.
which I kind of thought, I was like, at first I was like, I wonder if Monkey's the mom. He's like, no, he'd recognize her or something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, Monkey is the mom. Okay, well then is Beetle the dad? And at first I was thinking yes, but then his character being so goofy and fun, I was like, no, maybe she's just sort of like having a fling with this,
But,
you know.
but she even said, like, when he's not being a hero, he was goofy and fun. That was part of his personality.
That's true.
So all of that was kind of set up, but still kept, like, maybe it could be him, maybe it couldn't, so that we didn't definitely know.
It was
The-
good.
The he was my master was a very good misdirect.
It was.
So he could have conceivably been taught the bow and the sword from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, it was super fun. And I love the Selma Gorath monsters under the water.
Yeah.
The giant eyeballs. All,
Yeah.
squid eyeball monsters, and lots of blood in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some blood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he shot them with the arrow in the eye, and a bunch of black ink came out.
Yeah. And there's this really nasty gash
Yeah.
in the monkey when she gets clawed by her sister.
Yeah,
right.
them dang chainsicles or whatever.
Yeah, rare to see in a kids movie, like a gigantic wound.
Yeah. And when the mom hits her face on that rock in the beginning, man, that was rough.
Devastating. Yeah,
I
Makes me
feel
think
like
of,
this movie gets away with more because it's so good. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
that reminds me of Tomb Raider. Like every time Lara Croft dies
Oh,
in the
jeez.
next game, it's like a brutal like, it's painful.
I've been meaning to play that one. I saw Conan do like a let's play thing of that. It was
really good.
pretty funny.
I really like
He's just like, oh god, like every time she does. Like, I don't know. Anyway, something for you guys to Google later.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. So I was thinking this is probably going to be a short episode because it's not like we have a lot to complain about with this movie. Just,
I retract my complaint, so no notes. I'm sorry,
No.
I promise, but
I you know what? I maintain that we have some. Well,
We
they
had
aren't
the one
even.
note. That one note was okay.
Is it even a note or is it like a suggestion? It's like, hey, maybe try this. You know, like
no. I mean, I think it's fair to say that if you can guess it ahead of time, they could probably find a way to tell their story better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But
minor.
It's not breaking.
Minor.
No,
yeah.
it's not like
no,
it's a big
a very
story
minor note.
It's
Very
pretty
minor.
nitpicky to be honest. Yeah.
We're being some real jerks by pointing that one out.
Like the main characters of the movie, a blemish on the face does not ruin the character.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, do we give this numeric ratings
Yeah.
at this point?
Yeah, what are we
You
doing?
know?
Are we doing popcorn? Are we doing?
You know,
You guys used to
lately
do
we've been.
popcorn.
Oh,
we
back to
did.
popcorn?
Should we go back
no,
to it?
Here's the thing. I stole that from On Cinema at the Cinema with Tim Heidecker. So I shouldn't use that anymore.
You
'cause-
thief.
So I just straight up stole that idea.
So,
I give it 8.5
strings.
strings.
8.5 strings. Okay. How many strings?
You know,
I'm gonna be real surprised if you say.
well, here's the thing. I don't usually rate movies this soon after seeing them because there's the initial high and then I wait. But since this is the show, I've got to, and I'm,
It's your snap.
Yeah, pretty much.
incredible.
I'm going to give this 10 strings.
Oh man.
Now look, that
Dude, I would have been surprised if you said anything different because you did say it was your favorite movie of the year.
this is my favorite movie of the year.
You
This is
said
a
better
really-
than Zootopia.
I liked this better than Zootopia.
I mean,
and
how many
liked
strings would you
Zootopia.
have given Zootopia?
I would have given Zootopia 9.5 strings.
Okay.
Because this has 10 and you think it's better.
No, I think after seeing Zootopia, there were a couple things that I would have legitimately had notes for. This it's an adventure, and it has pathos, and it has growth, and it has decisions, and it has symbolism, and it has really, really, really great art design, and I really just liked everything about it.
All right, Lars.
Right. I'm gonna give it 9.5 strings because I still think Zootopia is a better movie by just a little bit. But oh man, you guys, hopefully you already saw this one, and if you're crazy enough to listen to this and you still haven't seen it,
Go see it.
Oh yeah, why?
Absolutely.
What's the matter with you?
It deserves your dollars.
Yeah, no.
If Suicide Squad can make $500 million, $500 million,
You idiots. What are you thinking, audience?
If Kubo makes like 60 mil and then leaves theaters, I'm gonna be so disappointed in you, America.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So disappointed. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
No, go
Rant
see
over.
it so Leica can keep doing good movies, you know?
People in the 3 strings.
Oh my gosh, right?
Four
Just
strings,
keep
whatever
it
the
going
sequel is.
forever. No, it seems like they're really
Oh, we never said
hitting
what the
their
2
stride.
strings was about.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it's Kubo and his 2 parents is really what that kind of means.
His-
Or the 2 strings that represent his memories of his parents or something. Something along those lines.
I was looking at his instrument the whole time, and it had 3 strings for most of the movie.
I
so was a
know, and
little
I wondered
confused.
about that too. But then at the end, he's got the 1 string from his mom and the 1 string from his dad. It's a hair and a bowstring, and then
And then his own.
and then his own. But that's still Kubo, so it is not included in the
Oh, so
full
it is still
count. of
Kubo and
Kubo
the
and the 2
Kubo
strings for
and
a
the 2
total of
strings.
3. I get it.
Kubo, 1 string, 2 string.
Very
It's Kubo
good.
and his parents.
It's and
Yeah.
the moral of the end of the story is all about memory and
That's the
And-
important thing about this podcast is to explain things like that to you, dear listener.
Yeah. Well, then, mission accomplished.
Yes. You're welcome.
Man, so yeah, see that movie, and I guess the trailer report.
Great. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So,
Yeah,
cool.
You know, this is what happens with really good movies: is we end up with really short episodes.
Yeah, sorry.
So theme song for the trailer report, right?
Oh yeah. Next trailer report.
.com.
I was gonna do
gonna-
the dun 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 dun, but that's because Star Trek and it's the fight music.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yes.
dun,
Yes.
dun, dun,
Oh, those pesky lizard men.
Okay, so the
yeah,
first thing we
so-
saw was the Liam Neeson monster.
Right. Yeah, it's
boy.
called A Monster Calls. I guess it's based on a book.
It's called A Bigger, Better Giant.
It looks interesting. It's like it looks like there's this kid. I don't know if this kid is like special needs in some way, or if he's just a weird kid who's like not getting good.
Some loser artist.
Yeah. And then, oh man, you guys, can we go back to Kubo for just 1 second?
All
I
right.
just want to say,
Yeah.
so cool that Kubo is a storyteller and an animator of sorts, but with paper cutout animation, one might say.
Sure.
So
pretty
much.
cool. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. I always like seeing those as a protagonist.
He's
But,
my
yeah.
hero.
Oh,
Animators
so
are the
great.
real heroes.
Yeah. Damn it. So nothing truer ever said.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, no trailer report. A monster calls.
Yep.
Yeah, no, his mom's sister has cancer, and
Man, you were paying more attention than me.
I was apparently, and he draws monsters in his notebook, and so everybody at his fancy British prep school thinks he's a freak for drawing stuff, and they spill orange juice on his sketchbook. Not cool,
Yeah.
Biff. Or Anthony, or whatever the fuck your name is.
And so I guess this monster is in his head, and this
I would guess it's
monster
all
is,
an analogy,
is
yeah.
telling him it's okay to be angry sometimes. It's okay to feel your feelings. I'm voiced by Liam Neeson.
Yep.
So
he uses it to exact revenge on a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff and
he's like-
destroy farmhouse for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of vague.
He's mad about his sister mom having cancer, so he breaks some windows, and
As you do.
and he stands up to bullies, and Groot is telling him, how to live.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty good. It's obviously low budget, and some of the effects are kind of like, but I think it's interesting how our everything's becoming genreized. Everything's becoming sort of
what genre would you call this one?
Pan's Labyrinth genre?
Yeah,
Or it's all
exactly.
kind of a metaphor.
It's
rated PG-13, which I thought was weird. Just because what movie is rated PG-13 anymore? But
superhero movies.
Yeah.
right, but this isn't one,
No, it's not.
so that was weird to me.
It's
You would have thought PG, right?
well, I mean, I kind of like that. I think that the MPAA is a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, it makes movies worse.
Yeah, they put movies into these boxes that doesn't exist on television or on the internet, where creativity is more free to express itself in ways that entertain people without borders. And people are smart enough to decide what they should and shouldn't watch. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This movie, I don't really see myself seeing a Monster Calls, just because I feel like I know the whole story already, and I could write you the screenplay like tomorrow if you wanted. Like,
I'll wait for more trailers.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be really, really good.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll surprise us all.
if people tell me it's so good, maybe I'll see it. But
Yeah.
I would really like to see it as a Netflix movie where I can watch it from the comfort of my own home. Like if Netflix had produced it and it didn't come out in theaters, it doesn't seem like something I need to go to theaters to see.
Well, maybe it'll be on Netflix in a year.
That sounds pleasant, man. I could see myself watching this movie for free in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah, kind of for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
For a small subscription fee, I get to watch all kinds of cool stuff. It's great.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. What was the second movie?
It was the Eagle Hunters,
Oh,
and now they are not hunting eagles, they're using eagles to help them hunt.
It's funny, before the movie started, Tim and I were saying, like, I wonder what kind of previews are they going to show
Yeah.
for this movie? I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
A documentary
It's-
about
yeah,
the
it's-
first
it's-
female hawk.
The eagle, I think it was the eagle huntress.
Where are they?
They are in Mongolia,
Okay, yeah.
where
Up in the mountains.
lots of grills.
Yeah.
No, it's just,
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, good one.
thank you. Yeah. That's where they invented sriracha.
Is that true?
No,
I would have believed you.
I think they invented it out here. It's the first place I became aware of sriracha was at Mongolian Grill. It's it's a bunch of rosy-cheeked people up in the mountains, and it's like, whoa, they're like a throwback.
Hey, if you like reality, like maybe check out this documentary about people using eagles to hunt.
I could see a teenage girl being like really into this movie.
It's empowering.
Yeah, it's about a tribe of Mongolians that have been hunting with these golden eagles for thousands upon thousands of beyond memory, lots of strings, but it's always been guys, and it's been passed down from father to son, and now there's this girl that wants to learn, and she's like a natural. She's winning all these competitions, and it's shot like a Planet Earth documentary, kind of lots of wide shots.
Apparently, it's been very praised for its cinematography and just very beautiful movie.
So I didn't know that you knew anything about this.
No, they said that during the ad.
Never mind.
No, I never heard of it before today.
I thought you were coming into it like, oh yeah, like apparently like at Sundance.
No, dude, I'm just really authoritative when I repeat things that I heard
It
2
sounded
hours
really
ago.
good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's just the kind of credibility that I swing around here.
You know what? So for all of the 14, 15-year-olds who listen to this podcast, you will probably be going to IMAX theaters on a field trip to see this movie at some point.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
you guys let us know how it is.
That's
Right
what
in.
14, 15-year-olds love is documentaries.
Absolutely.
That's all I watched in high school.
Maybe it'll be shown in school mandatorily. Mandatorily. Uh-oh.
Does anybody remember the third trailer?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
There's trolls.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man, I saw a trailer half a year ago and it didn't look
I
right.
kind of like how the movie looks like a craft shop exploded.
Definitely.
Like everything is made of felt and pipe cleaners, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it starts off with another DreamWorks dance, and I feel like I
Oh
already know
yeah,
what
it's
this
gonna
movie
be
is.
DreamWorks dance from top to bottom, except
From
to
toe to
pop
tip.
songs.
Yeah.
I love everything about how the movie looks.
Yep.
And it has a lot of really fun cartoon antics in it and the textures are amazing. Like you were talking
yeah.
about.
Everything's fuzzy.
It's like a Yoshi story.
There's,
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I love Yoshi's
Woolly
Island.
Woolly World, whatever it is.
there's a rain cloud character that pees itself.
Right.
And they poop cupcakes, which I thought was adorable.
Yep.
Oh man, you know what? It's funny because, you know what, Nick? These were pee and poop jokes, but you didn't mention it. Didn't really bother you.
It did. she poops a cupcake, and then she scoops it up. She's like, cupcake? You wouldn't do that. It's poop. It's disgusting.
I thought that was. I like poop and pee jokes as long as they're good ones.
If a magical animal poops cupcakes, are those cupcakes no good?
Seems kind of gross, doesn't it?
So, but like you said, it's a bunch of dancing and pop music, and I hate that.
Yeah.
In fact, my biggest note for Zootopia is that stupid pop song that's dated already. I listen to it and I cringe, and I think
that was kind of the point of that song.
That
though.
was that 0.5, huh?
it's not the whole 0.5, but it's a good solid 0.3 of the 0.5.
Ooh.
It's a big chunk. I hated that stupid pop song. You're showing me this cool city, and I'm having to fight the urge to just tear my ears off to this stupid Shakira song.
Didn't bother me that much.
I hated it. That's just me. And this is going to be that's all it is. It's a very pretty package with a lot of stupid dancing with Gwen Stefani and Justin Timberlake doing an original song that I'm sure will be awful.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
Maybe I'll find somebody else to see it with.
Are you
hey,
gonna see it? Do you want to see it?
I kind of do.
I
I'm
wanna
curious.
see it.
Oh, okay.
I do.
I
I'm
just know you're gonna hate it.
Look, if you've listened to my podcast, I get very passionate about things. I'm a very, very angry optimist.
Okay. So you like to be angry.
You
like-
get your hopes up really high for movies optimistically, and then you watch them, and then you're very angry
No,
afterwards.
but you know this is gonna be bad.
Well, I'm angry. No, I'm angry because I'm not cynical. Because I know that we can do better. I know that there's better that we can do. I don't expect it to be bad because I know that talented people exist and they want to make good stuff. And when they fail, it makes me righteously angry.
Yeah, homie, but
Man.
we just saw 9 Lives. Like, we know that people
Yeah.
people are capable on the other side as well. They're capable of the
Dude,
worst
see,
things.
If you learn anything from this podcast, you should realize that I have really low expectations, and then I end up being really impressed by everything.
Do you guys know about the production company for 9 Lives?
No.
They are a Chinese production company trying to break into the American market, and 9 Lives is their version of what they think Americans want to watch.
Oh,
They're not wrong if
man.
it was 20 years ago.
Right. It's really funny, but I'm sure they feel the same way when we just throw Shanghai into a Transformers movie and like,
Ha.
here you go.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So yeah, it's that is a thing that you can take to the bank.
All right. Well, you know,
Knowledge.
Trolls. Trolls was the third trailer.
And it kind of, I can totally see it having an Avatar effect because it's that pretty. I could just see a bunch
Dude, I
of.
gave Avatar a big pass. I still do.
You give Avatar.
Dude, it pushed what movies are capable of forward technologically, even though the story was dumb.
Sexy blue cat people.
That's what I want to see more of. That's exactly what I'm saying.
The first time I saw Avatar,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't close my eyes. Like at a certain point, I started weeping because I realized my eyes hadn't shut in like 40 minutes. That was just like, oh, my eyes are tearing up because I haven't blinked. And I was completely engrossed and I loved it.
Absolutely.
The second time I saw it, same feeling. Just like, wow, this is amazing. The third time I saw it, I was bored to death. And I just wanted to leave. And then I realized, oh, so this movie's kind of awful.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fireworks going off. You're like, whoa, colors! And then there's nothing behind those fireworks.
You know,
Except
it's
Pocahontas.
like I say, you know, I love wonder, but I also really like story.
Definitely, but like that wasn't the point of Avatar. The point of Avatar was
the wonder.
fireworks.
Yeah.
And that's why I give it a pass.
I mean, the atmospherics, well, and that's part of the thing too, is because it only looked good in the theaters. You watch Avatar at home,
Oh, yeah.
and it just looks like a neon mess.
Aw, dude, you got to get that 200-inch in 4K TV, man.
yeah, I saw
You know?
it in IMAX 3D with like wraparound.
Yeah.
So I was in
I'm
it.
sorry, 8K. We're up to 8K now,
Are we up to
right?
8K?
Like
No.
ultra something.
We're only up to 4K.
Are you sure? I feel like they were advertising
Maybe
that.
by the time this episode comes out, we'll
yeah,
be up to 8K.
yeah. They're just gonna start like, you know, the pixels are smaller than atoms now. You know, your computer will take 100 years to render a single frame.
It's more real than what your eyes can process.
Yup, it already is, dude. I can't see freaking the pixels in regular HD. What do I need 4K for?
Yeah, that's true.
You know? Oh man, my HD television is so blocky. You know,
Well-
go to hell, rich people.
Well, now we're running into problems where every TV is preset at 60 frames per second. It makes everything look
Oh
like
looks
yeah,
like soap
can we
opera.
stop having the soap opera effect and the frame interpolation? Thank you.
I had to
hate
watch
it so
Trainwreck with
much.
Amy Schumer at 60 frames per second, and I couldn't pay attention to anything.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
the lip sync's
yeah.
off. It's like it's so many
Everyone
frames.
moves
Yeah.
too smoothly.
It's not even a smooth thing. It's like it's it's a weird. It's almost jerky.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Nobody knows more than animators that like we have chosen the number of frames per second in a very deliberate way.
24 is the perfect number. Don't fuck with it.
Ha.
I'm a crusader for this. If I show up at anybody's house and their TV is going at 60 frames per second and I mention it and they don't know what I'm talking about, I will change it.
And it's not just because we're so used to it. It's because there's no motion blur. Like you see every single crisp frame of someone looking up. And that's not how light works.
I'm seeing your hand motion blur right now in this lighting environment.
Yep.
I would lose that motion blur at 60 frames a second because it's going too fast to capture it.
It looks unrealistic.
Yeah.
It also makes all of the effects that they put in there just stand out and look really bad.
Yeah.
When The Hobbit came out at 72 frames per second, I saw it. And I thought the reason I hated that movie was because of the 72 frames, but then I saw it again at 24 frames, and then I said, no, this is just a bad movie.
It's just so hateable.
I wish I could have seen it in 72 just to see what a movie like that looks like.
Like a church play.
Ew, that sucks.
Yeah, it made it look like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, I see. Say no more.
You mean just The Last Airbender?
Right, they
Shyamalan's
didn't.
The Last Airbender.
Shyamalan's
They
The Last
couldn't
Airbender.
use Avatar because of James Cameron's Avatar.
Right.
Right, which I was really pissed off about until I saw M. Night Shyamalan's Airbender.
Man.
And then I just...
Hey, audience, go to Wikipedia, look up the movie The Last Airbender, scroll down to reception and read anything in quotation marks. You will be entertained.
I want to do that now.
You will do it right after.
Yay!
Did you know, by the way, you could just submit quotes for movies? I've done that before.
Like to IMDb?
Yeah, you could just submit quotes. I submitted one to a movie called Luck of the Irish, which was this old crappy Disney movie about a leprechaun. And you can just like make up quotes, and then like someone will just approve it. So I have fake quotes for that movie on IMDb. Like my friend and I got super drunk one night and just made up a bunch of quotes.
By the way, you guys, IMDb runs like Wikipedia. You can just make things up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, totally.
Is that a Disney original movie?
Yes.
Was that the one where her grandpa, who's an Irish guy, invented potato chips by slicing the potato too thin?
I don't remember.
Oh man, because I kind of remember that movie.
Okay.
That's so
it was
weird.
about a kid who played basketball. So I guess like reverse team.
Is somebody
No.
part leprechaun?
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
because
this
it
was
would
the
have to
Leprechaun
be.
one. But I
With a
feel
name
like
like
it was
that.
about potato chips for some reason.
Maybe.
Because, Irish and potatoes, and
Yeah.
it's okay to be racist to Irish people. They're the only ones.
I mean,
It's
well, no,
fine.
you
They're
can be
doing fine.
racist against any white person.
Well, yeah, but
Yes, but it won't offend them.
in Star Trek season 1 of the original series, there was some very specific and strange racism towards Irish people.
Really.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek is all about being progressive and not being racist to anybody, except Irish people. This is like the only one that they could be just broad. And,
Everyone in the world has come together to hate Irish people, and so they're unified. And that's the utopian world we know in Star Trek.
Wonderful. Anyway,
plug stuff.
plugs. Oh my
plug
gosh!
it up.
So you guys, I would be remiss not to mention that Tim is the third member of the Noob Trek podcast, the only one we haven't had on so far. So,
Yes.
Noob Trek podcast, the O's are zeros.
The O's are zeros.
Yeah. So we over here at Nick and Lars of Notes have collected all 3 Noob Trekkers at this point, whereas Noob Trek has only gotten one of the 2 of us.
They
So
haven't completed their collection.
That's
seems
true.
like we're winning.
You gotta be on the podcast.
I would love to be. I don't know anything about Star Trek.
Perfect.
Except for I've seen like the J.J. Abrams movies.
Awesome.
So I'm the worst kind of fan.
No, this is good. This is
Agreed.
really good. That's the whole point of our show, is that we have people on who, sometimes we have people on who know a lot about Star Trek, and that's fun because we learn stuff from them. But then we also love having people on who don't know anything about it.
Great.
And
I'll make an embarrassment of myself. It'll be awesome.
We're into season 3, and season 3 is kitschy as fuck.
Love
it's
it.
so fun.
my
I love
favorite.
it. Yeah, people give season 3 of the original series a lot of crap, and it is not deserved. Spock's Brain is a great episode. I don't care what anyone says. So yeah, Noob Trek.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook, the O's are Zeros. You can find us other places, I'm sure, but I don't do our social media. I just show up and drink and talk about Star Trek.
Okay.
And Facebook is the thing, so do that.
Great.
All right, more plugs. Hey, Tim and I work on a show called Legends of Chamberlain Heights that comes out September 14th, and you can watch it on Comedy Central after South Park, or right now
exciting.
on the website if you have a cable login or something.
if you have an Xfinity account.
I don't understand
Yeah.
how this stuff works, but you know.
Cable is
yeah.
the devil, and they have decided that you can't go and watch stuff on the internet unless you have cable, and that's BS.
Yep.
But if you do happen to have cable and are paying the devil your hard-earned money, then go online and you can watch the first 2 episodes of Legends, which neither one of us actually worked on.
Okay.
But we do work on the show, and we need people to create good buzz so that we can keep working for years and years and years.
Get more jobs and more seasons.
Yeah.
All right. Not exactly how I would have plugged it, but a plug nonetheless.
Wait, how would you plug it?
Oh my gosh, you guys, you should check out Legends of Chamberlain Heights. This is a show that we're on.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's basically what you said.
You should watch
All right.
it.
And then also Nick.
I am working on, and maybe you've seen the billboards around town, I'm working on Son of Zorn, coming to Fox.
Oh, man.
September
Son of
11th. I'm
Zorn.
sorry. It's September 11th.
Oh, no.
I
But
thought it was later for some
it was going to be
reason.
September 25th, but they pushed it up.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be working on episodes as they're airing. That'll be fun.
You were going to be doing that either way, though.
True. Now it's like another 2 weeks sooner.
Oh, man.
But it's really funny. Cheryl Hines, Johnny Pemberton, Jason Sudeikis is the voice of Zorn, Tim Meadows.
Being-
a lot of great names attached
Being
to this.
produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yes, of
who
Lego
can
Movie.
do no
fame.
wrong.
Yeah. Clone High, all
Cloudy
the
with
greats.
a Chance of Meatballs.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. I'm not wearing that T-shirt right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
So yeah,
so
go watch that. It's
Do
great.
you wanna talk about the premise, because it's a pretty funny
Oh
premise?
yeah. So it's about a He-Man type character who lives on a fictional island called Zephyria. That's all fully animated, and it's what you might expect. He slays monsters with a sword. There's battles all the time, but he comes home to Orange County to his estranged wife and wants to reconnect with his son. And which is now all live action. It's just our world. He's well intentioned, but all he knows is how to be a barbarian. So let's see what kind of wacky antics he gets up to.
It's the show you've been waiting to exist since you watched He-Man and Roger Rabbit in the 80s.
Exactly.
And
It's a lot of
now
fun.
technology and
Yeah.
stuff.
So those are all the plugs, I guess.
Yeah. We have jobs outside of the podcast.
mighty
Who'd have
fine
thought?
plugging happening. Next episode.
Who
there's-
knows, man?
Dude, there's like Storks in September.
Storks is a definite maybe.
Yeah.
I need to watch more trailers.
And then, like, in November, there is Trolls and Moana, and we'll definitely do Moana. Anything else? Yeah.
Kubo
so,
was
yeah.
great.
Yep.
I really
Kubo
like to
was
go
real
watch it. It was
good.
a lot of fun.
We'll do another episode maybe in September, maybe in November. Maybe we'll find a lost episode somewhere in there. I've had at least one suggestion on that note. But yeah, we'll be seeing you guys again, in at least a month, maybe longer.
Yeah.
But
Bye.
stay frosty,
Stay
true
frosty.
believers. I don't know which sign-offs I'm mashing up.
I'm not going to do any this week. This is a very special episode.
Okay, bye
All right,
guys.
Goodbye.